What's up, Brownies? I had to get up off the sick and shut in list to come check up on y'all. Y'all all right? Y'all okay? Do we need to join a hands and do a prayer circle? Baby, as a drunk preacher once said, bow your eyes and close your head. Baby, y'all in an uproar because Tyler Perry done went down to the Keke Palmer interview and gave y'all back a fraction of the criticism that he has been receiving for the past, 2 decades? And you mad? It hurt your feelings. Let me give you all the reasons why you hate Tyler Perry and the tools for you to get over it. I challenge you to watch this entire video. At least listen beyond me saying something that you disagree with. Otherwise, it's just one big echo chamber. And honey, if you just want the echo chamber, just type in Divorce in the Black review and you will see a bunch of black folks just tearing them down, honey. That's where you can find your echo chamber community over there. And let's start with Divorce in the Black. If you were surprised and or disappointed by Divorce in the Black, it's because you are remedial. Now, I don't know what else to tell you. You know I love y'all. I love you for real, sweet babies. But listen, I don't know why you expect for Tyler Perry to not be Tyler Perryan. If Tyler Perry gonna do one thing, he gonna Tyler Perry every single time. And can't nobody Tyler Perry like Tyler Perry. Or, as I might just prove to you in this video, everybody is out here Tyler Perryan, and he's the only one that y'all giving the blues. Message. And that's a perfect way to go ahead and get started with the very first thing that you all are always complaining about with Tyler Perry. He's always perpetuating negative stereotypes about the black community. Let me ask you a question though. Are you the pot or the kettle in this situation? Tyler Perry might do it on the big screen or on the TV screen, but you do the same thing on your phone screen, laptop screen, tablet screen. Let me explain to you what it is that I mean. The way that you all operate on social media, whether it makes it to the TV screen or not, it's still media. What do you do with the media that is within your control? Let me answer that question for you. All you do is share negative imagery of black people. They're going to be fighting, neglecting their children, showing that the children are doing rap lyrics down to the daycare, at the pole dancing class, right? You're going to always share something about black women twerking and black men stealing. Oh, look, they came and cleared out the whole Apple store in 22 seconds. They cleared out the whole Macy's. That will always go viral instead of the black doctors videos, the black generational wealth videos, being the youngest person to ever graduate college or at the age of 13 or whatever. It never is going to be as popular as the negative black things. And about that, I'm just curious where it is that you all are going to get this positive representation of the black community. Or the ones that I know of and the ones that make it past 1 or 2 seasons are ones that are encouraging you all to go out and let the chopper sing on each other and also to sell drugs. If y'all make another television show that is giving the exact recipe of crack, I'm probably gonna crack up. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna break my brain. And if you've made it this far in the video, I want you to put the raising hand emoji if you've ever noticed how we are programmed to root for the criminal to get away with this activity. And after that, I'd love to hear an explanation as to why you don't give other black male directors like John Singleton, may he rest in peace, and 50 Cent and the rest of them this same type of criticism that you do Tyler Perry. The ones, I guess, that don't wear dresses. Is that what you all are mad about? I mean, my goodness, how many times did John Singleton make Boys in the Hood sitting on the hood of a car wearing a hoodie? If he didn't perpetuate a negative stereotype about a poor single black mama, how come your daddy don't come over here and play cards with us no more? I know he don't think he know better than the rest of us. Angry black man, you say? The man's name was Furious Styles in the movie. Hot dang. Call the police and the fireman. If 50 Cent does not get rich or die trying and make sure that as many other people die in the process while you still trying to get rich. And if he don't do nothing else, he's going to do that in every television show, every movie. But let's move on to the next excuse for why people hate Tyler Perry. And this one is coming from Black women. They say that they hate the way he always depicts a Black woman's life as having to be so hard, and it's always rooted in trauma and drama. That is my lived experience, that just existing as a Black woman is actually filled with a lot of trauma and drama. But I want to ask you, dear, is it the reason why that you all are so offended by that in Tyler Perry's movies is once again about that mirror? Is it because it just hits too close to home? And I'm asking because the statistic is 1 in 3. And you know what I'm talking about. So if you make it this far in the video, I want you to put a number in the comments. And that number is the age that you were when you first found out that as a Black woman, your body and safety did not matter if it was going to negatively impact a Black man's reputation or freedom. How old were you when you heard the speech about what happens in this family stays in this family? Don't put our business out in the street. It's going to reflect negatively on all of us. And we ain't going to put him in jail. We're just going to keep him away from you from now on. And hopefully you can put a follow-up number in the comments, which is going to be the age that you decided for your own mental health to stop going to the family functions that require you to sit across from your abuser, the family reunion or at Thanksgiving dinner. See, I've said all of this before in multiple videos, and I can never get anybody to respond. I also want to ask you a question once again. Where do you see this positive representation of Black women in TV shows and movies? You're always going to be depicted as a single mother, a prostitute, or a crackhead. Robert Townsend, he was so far ahead of his time with stuff like Hollywood Shuffle. When somebody gives you a different depiction of Black womanhood, do you support it? How many of you all went to see Origin? Ingenue Ellis, Ava DuVernay directing it, real life story of a Black author telling you what is the root cause of some of the same suffering that you complain about. Did we go out and support that movie? I don't think we did. Taraji had something to say about Oprah in The Color Purple. And so did we go out and support The Color Purple musical movie? And you can say, well, see, that's yet another example of the drama and the trauma and the poverty. But you know what that's also an example of? Black women standing up to their abusers, getting out of an abusive situation, Black women becoming entrepreneurs, taking control of their own lives, Black families being brought back together, Black men having a redemption arc and changing their ways and behavior in the end. Black women don't support each other either a lot of the times, which is why I've also said before that a Black man cosplaying as a Black woman while playing up negative stereotypes about Black womanhood will get more engagement and followers than an actual Black woman doing content as a Black woman. Isn't this the complaint that you all had about Tyler Perry portraying Madea? But once again, in your social media and what you have control over, you watch it, you subscribe, you support it, and it's funny. See, I don't have a beef with these content creators. I just pull these pictures to make a point, and you all promote the social media version of Madea every day. And it's very hard for a regular Black woman to get this type of engagement, especially in a brand like mine that was initially based on edutainment. But I noticed that my channel was growing at a snail's pace in comparison to the channels that are all about the gossip and the mess. So what I'm exposing here is a harsh and uncomfortable truth. The objective of business is to make money. So if nobody is watching it, why would they continue to make that type of content? But moving on. So top 5 reasons why you all hate Tyler Perry. Number 3, you say that his storylines are underdeveloped, predictable, and redundant. We've seen this before. He uses this storyline in all of his movies. And once again, I'm not saying that you're wrong here. I'm just asking, why is it that people are so hyper-focused when Tyler Perry does it? Like pop quiz, how many different movies or television shows can you name in what maybe just the past 10 years or so that have been remakes, reboots, and reimaginings? Moving right along to number 4. You hate Tyler Perry because he promotes the agenda to emasculate black men. See, Hollywood tries to emasculate the black man. Sweetie, you all think that showing images of black men in dresses is going to have an effect on the psyche of young black boys. But you don't think that these images of you all being pimps and drug dealers affects their psyche. So you think that it's more problematic for men to wear a dress, as if these men are not doing this for one reason and one reason alone. It's not because somebody put a gun to their head. It's because they wanted to do it, because they wanted to get paid for it. And if you've made it this far in the video, I want you to comment below some of the movies where non-black men played women or wore a dress and nobody questioned the masculinity of the entire race. And if you can't readily think of one off the top of your head, just comment like one of the movie emojis. Also, I hope that you all can get over your weird obsession with the LGBTQ community, because the truth of the matter is, as long as the people are of age and have each other's consent, then it should be none of your concern. But this weird talking point about how watching gay people in public or on TV now is going to influence the children. The way that you all don't understand how sexuality works is actually troubling. Here's my question, because since the beginning of time, just about every movie and television show has presented heteronormative behavior. Why isn't it that the gay children that's been watching all of this heterosexual activity on TV and also in the real world, why hasn't that brainwashed or influenced them to not be gay? You see how it doesn't make sense? So you worry about these images erasing black masculinity, but you don't worry about the actual erasure that happens in your community by far and wide with black men procreating outside of their race more so than black women do. That is actual erasure, but you have no problem with that. So you can't complain about the white man being the blame for everything in the community when you so badly want the white man to be your father-in-law. And about the problems in the community, would you like to discuss which ones are actually on the list? Because I promise you, being gay isn't one of them. What about the fact that you all have no problem with creating baby mamas, bastards, and broken homes, or shooting up the block over turf wars and innocent people dying in the process? You see what I'm saying? It's so much more things that we can be talking about than a dress. So how about you address the real issues? Let's move on. And last but not least, the number 5 reason you hate Tyler Perry is because he encourages struggle love for black women. Now, I know that last year he did that interview where he made the comment about the light bill, and I made a video saying what he said versus what you heard versus what he meant. If you haven't seen it, then go and watch that video. But daughter, I hate to tell you this, it's not just Tyler Perry. It's every bit of brainwashing and also real life example of black love that you've ever seen in your entire life. Now, I know that he has those movies where the rich man is evil and the broke man that worked down to the sawmill is like, well, baby, I can't pay no bills, but I sure can give you good hugs. But let's not act like it was Tyler Perry who taught you to settle and be a man's doormat. And in fact, I've talked about this in multiple videos before. So let's just get into a couple of flashbacks, shall we? See, this I'ma stick beside him. A piece of man is better than having no man at all. Ride or die chick culture is killing y'all faster than these BBLs. So the manosphere is trying to convince you that you'll die alone if you don't get married. That's because they know that they'll be the ones dying alone. And a lot of married women are trying to convince you to get married because misery loves company. But know this, many modern women are voluntarily single because being alone is not the same as being lonely. And being lonely is even better than being attached to a loser. What the Ernesto situation should teach you is the flaw in manosphere logic. They'll encourage you to get with a man who is broken, and with a lot of baggage. They'll tell you that this proves that you're not a gold digger. And then when this inevitably backfires on you, they'll say, well, you should have chosen better. Stay away from those Pookies and Ray Rays. They'll always tell men not to date single mothers, but they don't discourage women from dating men who have baby mama drama. If they find themselves in prison or just in the unemployment line, you're expected to hold them down when the truth is all that's happening is this is holding you back. Nowadays, you got to check his credit, criminal history, and cash flow to make sure he's not a hobosexual looking for a place to stay. Then you need to check his medical history and current health to make sure he's not just looking for a hospice care wife, and make sure that he's not gay and just looking for a beard. And that's after you check his social media to make sure that he's not just a clown. So while men are complaining over child support and screening for cooking and cleaning, we're out here screening for hobozos. Where they do that at?
Message.
So not only is the whole world trying to tell you that you deserve less, you do this on your own. You didn't need Tyler Perry's help. And one of your biggest problems is you overly value and romanticize Black love when there's very little proof of concept. I've also talked about this before. Let me give you this flashback. What's up, brownies? This is random, but if you agree, I want you to hit follow or subscribe. This Black love series, is it me or is it more traumatizing watching this than one of these slave movies that they come out with every few years? I'm trying to figure out if they're missing a few words in the title, like was it supposed to be called Black Struggle Love, or I love my Black husband that cheats on me repeatedly, but I'm gonna stick beside him, or marry a broke Black man and love him anyway and hope for the best. Now that's cute when you're in your 20s, early 30s, but after 35, you can't just be marrying for potential. It's gotta be for progress and proof of concept. Is it called I love my wife because she's barely Black? I know y'all noticed that. I guess I'm just triggered lately because of all of these Black women marrying these homos and hobos and bozos, these hobozos, and getting strawberried and palmered out of their wealth and health. But no couple is perfect, but we can do better than this. Tell me what you think was the best, worst couple in the comments. And speaking of Black love, I know that it wasn't lost on you all that half of the cast that was in that movie was also a part of that Black love series, and they're also divorced in the Black now. Which brings me to my final point of the solutions that I have of how you can get over your Tyler Perry hatred. And one of the first things that you need to do is admit that this man is a genius. But before I get into all of the solutions, if you've made it this far to the end of the video, I want you to comment the looking eyes emojis if you caught that part in the interview where Tyler was picking up on the fact that Keke Palmer was going through some of the same things that his advice in the video applied to. And that actually brings me to a bonus solution. Eat the meat and spit out the bones, because sometimes Madea really be dropping some gems. Let's go back to the top 5 solutions. And let's give credit where credit is due and admit he's a genius. Tyler Perry not only understands the algorithm, he understands the assignment. And he knows to put something wild and unserious and salacious in the movie. Whether you're criticizing him for being unrealistic or unoriginal or whatever, you're still talking about it and tweeting about it. It gets engagement, it gets eyeballs on it, and that's how he keeps winning. He knew that a funeral scene where somebody dragged a body out and threw it in the back of a truck raw with the body's fist balled up like an Arthur meme. He knew that you all were gonna, talk about that and create a buzz. And that's free promotion for him. Somebody that you say that you hate. Simply put, he's outsmarting you because being a troll has always been profitable. Another solution would be to talk about what's really bothering you. Like how you feel conflicted about the fact that Tyler Perry is actually a nice looking man and nobody talks about it. Now, this is in a day and age where every woman is screaming that she want a man that's 6 feet, that makes 7 figures and got 8 inches. Now, we don't know nothing about his inches, but them first 2 things on the list, we know that he has those in spades. So another solution is just to stop hating, because all you're doing is wasting your energy. So if you hate it, then just stop watching. But see if you can do so in a manner to where you cannot bash this man publicly, especially when I consider the fact that there are people who have actually been found guilty of things and you all still support them. So surely you can support somebody who has not been found guilty of harming anybody, especially when you think about exactly what it is that he does with the money that he earns, like putting more Black actors to work than anybody else in the industry, and also paying Black people more than they've ever been paid by the larger studios. And one other particular thing that he does that I think makes the ancestors proud. Here's what I mean by that.
When I built my studio, I built it in a neighborhood that is one of the poorest black neighborhoods in Atlanta, so the young black kids can see that a black man did that and they can do it too. The studio was once a Confederate Army base, and I want you to hear this, which meant that there was Confederate soldiers on that base plotting and planning on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by one Negro. While everybody was fighting for a seat at the table, talking about Oscar so white, I said, y'all go ahead and do that. But while you fighting for a seat at the table, I'll be down in Atlanta building my own. Because what I know for sure is that if I could just build this table, God would prepare it for me in the presence of my enemies. Rather than being an icon, I want to be an inspiration. There are people whose lives are tied into your dream. Own your stuff. Own your business. Own your way.